Welcome to Uplift Women's Wellness. I'm Bethany Bush, founder of Head to Toe Strength.
And I'm Auria Zahed, a licensed marriage and family therapist. We're here to empower and inspire women to thrive through holistic wellness.
Each week, we'll dive into topics like fitness, mental health, and personal growth.
And share real conversations and actionable insights to help you live your strongest, healthiest life.
Thanks for tuning in. Let's get started.
Bethany, today I came across an article from a company that I follow on LinkedIn called The Female Lead.
Oh, I love that company.
Yeah? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I do too. And there was some research on likability, and I found it very interesting and also kind of like aligning with everything that we talk about, where women care a lot about what other people think to the point of it being detrimental to them. I liked the way they broke down specifically being likable at work. And I'll read you the data, because then you'll see what I'm talking about. And we can kind of see if you're feeling the same way I'm feeling. So again, this is the female lead, and I'm going to just read the article. So this is not me. This is whomever wrote the article. So it says, according to new research, 50% of women admit they withhold their opinions to be liked, and 43% downplay their achievements to avoid alienating others. Plus, a third smile more even when they don't feel like it, just to seem quote unquote nice. So they also found that 56% feel pressure to be likable, while men, only 36% answered feel pressure to be likable. So a 20% difference. So being liked was more important to women, it says, than being rich, powerful, funny, or influential, with almost 2/3 saying being liked was core to their character. So that is super interesting to read, core to their character, when being liked is not a character trait, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like other people's opinions and you receiving that feedback. That's not your character. So super, super interesting. And then it also says women are twice as likely as men to change how they act or speak to please others. 35% try to smile more than they naturally would, specifically to be liked. It also says almost a third of women worry about coming across as too confident. Luckily, it gets better with age, so they gave data on that, which is, that's good. But only by 65 years old, only half of women say they wouldn't change how they behave just to be liked. So it's still half. And at 65, you're starting to get out of the working fields too. So it's kind of like a little late.
Which means that data is also probably a little off, because the number of women working is also less. Like, did they actually ask working 65-year-old women, or are they asking just 65-year-old women in general? I'd want to know where the data was coming from.
I see what you're saying. That's a good question. I don't know, because I can't, in this article, I don't know where to find how they picked who they picked. Because it could have just been women in general, or they could have said working women. Yeah, good question. So, okay, I'm going to quote the article again. It said, "It's not just about language, it's lost ideas, missed promotions, and the discreet wearing down of confidence. The pressure to be likable is another job women do unpaid and unrecognized. The fix is changing the culture that punishes women for speaking plainly and rewards performative sweetness." Yeah, so for me, it's like none of this was surprising, okay? But I think the way it was worded as like likability is really important. That was surprising. And how it was like core to people's character. You know, I've mentioned that so many of my female clients work on people pleasing, and that definitely falls in line with likability. So I wonder if there's ways to kind of unpack some stuff, because I learned, you know, when people are people pleasy, there's stuff from their past that makes them be extremely giving and often hide their own emotions, right? But if you are one of these women from the article, it's just about being liked. So is that from a place of trauma? Is that from a place of just general society and what society values in women? So I don't know. I can't answer that. But this article coming out specifically about likability was very telling to me on like, we need to figure out what else women can find meaningful and really take the time to look at that for themselves and give themselves their own validation as best as possible. And sadly, now that I'm saying that, in the workplace, as we've discussed prior, women are judged by their personalities at work while men are judged by skill.
Because that, as you're talking, that's what's flooding into my mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's like, okay, at work, that's a different unfortunate situation. And maybe we will tackle that at some point. But let's talk about values outside of work and women's worth for themselves versus their worth in other people's eyes. Because it's the same for people who are people pleasing.
Okay.
Right? So I would say like a nice exercise for people would be to just like Google values. Just find a gigantic list of values, ideally 25 to 50, and pick your top 5. And whatever those are, notice in your day-to-day and put effort towards in your day-to-day. And if you're in some kind of situation where those values don't align, it's probably not a situation for you.
Can you give an example?
Yes. Let's do it. Let's play the game right now. I'm going to get a values list. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's a Brene Brown list of values.
Yes.
We're going to do that one. Okay. So just popping out to me, fairness is incredibly important to me. I do not like when people are treated unfairly. I do not like it when people are objectified for what they look like. Fairness is extremely important to me. Let me see what else is on here. Kindness, very important to me. Ooh, self-respect, very, very important to me. Gosh, these are so interesting because like there's a lot that I actually don't consider a value. That's why doing this exercise is so important. You need to really see what matters to you. And so this list is pretty big, Bethany. I can't get the exact number, but I would guess around 50.
Because it's Brene.
It's Brene. It's a big alphabetically ordered list. And there's things that like are not me. And the reason why I love reading things that are not me is because that is how I can still consider people with different values my equal. Just because someone has a different value, that doesn't make them less than you. That doesn't make them wrong. That doesn't make them bad. Okay, so let me give you
No, I don't.
an example. So like one of the values is achievement. I personally do not value achievement, but I'm also not going to go around judging people who value achievement. Okay, and here's another one, sportsmanship. That's not a value of mine at all.
It's my whole world.
But that's your whole world. Yes. But that is like, everyone needs to do this at some point in the near future and really go off of what matters to them and then move forward. But what people should value less is how other people feel about them on a likability level.
I mean, agreed, but easier said than done, depending on who you are.
It's absolutely easier said
and what you come
than
from.
done. Yes. Oh my gosh, for sure. First of all, everyone needs to go to therapy. Like,
Duh.
we're not going to forget. We're not going to forget that.
No.
But yeah.
Sorry, caveat. No matter what you have or what you do or do not think you have been through or have not been through, everyone can use the tools that a therapist can give for that negative interaction with the boss, the negative interaction with the spouse. Like, you don't need to go if you're like, oh my gosh, but I don't have any trauma. That's not what therapy's about.
Yeah.
I look at it as like a tool chest, so that when you have all these interactions, before you fly off the handle, you can check yourself and respond like a human rather than in responding like with your lizard brain.
Yes. Very, very good point. So just be mindful, have something to go in with and goals.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because it's just as equal work.
Mm-hmm.
The work is equal. It's not like you're like, all right, I'm here, fix me.
Yes.
Like, you probably have 50 minutes worth of topics to talk about, but in your own head, you either don't think they are, or you already word vommed them all over someone who doesn't deserve that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, if you come home from work and you have a crappy day, blowing up at your spouse, significant other, family, mother, father, whomever is in the household, that is not what should happen. That should happen in therapy, because that's a vessel that can tell you, okay, you're feeling this way.
Yeah.
Let's identify it. Let's find the root cause. Let's figure out a way and a method around.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes. Very, very good points.
And welcome to my world where Dakota just wants to sit and lick you non-stop.
Super cute. Yes, good points, Bethany. And I also want to address the trauma stuff, because I actually have, with my people-pleasing clients, their levels of trauma vary, but they all ended up being people-pleasing, having anxious attachment, having low self-esteem. So even if you have parents that are, well, I go back to parents because that's, what we talk about a lot.
But that's also pretty much the root cause of most things.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So even if you have parents or caregivers that are kind and not I guess, abusive, things like your parents not being home because they're working will give you pretty much the same attachment issues as someone who has yelled at you or inappropriately scolded you, things like that. So but if you feel like you had a wonderful childhood, you might not think you need to go to therapy, but there's probably some personality stuff that developed, or developed at school by being bullied, for example.
Because we're just little sponges.
Yes.
And when you're little sponges, yes, okay, it may not show up all the time, and you may not be like, well, I wasn't abused, or I wasn't yelled at, or I wasn't a latchkey kid. It's no, those are extremes.
Yeah.
It's did you have confrontation with, your teacher all the time? because school interactions, like, look how many of us go through elementary and middle school and we just cry when we get home. Because kids are mean. Like, it could be something as simple as that, is like, you respond this way when someone talks about your hair. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you have this type of a response if anybody mentions your hair or how your hair looks or you're losing your hair or whatever. That came from somewhere. You didn't come, like my therapist said, you didn't come out like that.
Right. Yes. Totally.
It's like, it doesn't have to be like, yes, my mom hit me or my dad beat me, or it doesn't need to be that. It can be the bully all the way through kindergarten who put glue in everything all the time. Like, it can be something like that where you don't think, maybe you don't think it's relevant, but it has shaped how you behave.
Yes, totally. And to your point, there are grown-up bullies too.
Yep.
That still bully other grown-ups.
Yep.
And it can be extremely painful. And it can change people and their personalities and give people some fears that they didn't really have.
And what are those typical bullies and how do they present themselves?
The ones we are talking about, the adult bullies, I would call them narcissists. But I do want to go into just like basic narcissism really quick, because I feel like people also get accidentally called narcissists, and it is a widely used term. So like,
it's also kind of trending right now too. So
it is trending, and I also feel like it's been trending, which is why I think the definition is changing and like lightening. So for someone to have narcissistic personality disorder, there are quite a few traits that they need to display. So the ones who are going around bullying might not be diagnosable. They might be, but they might also have like one or two of the few traits needed. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So in my life, I have a therapist who has taught me a lot about narcissism, because I've always had narcissistic partners up until my husband, thank God, because I had a therapist right before him, who talked me through some of the stuff without using the word narcissism, which was very interesting, and we can go into that like one day. But my current therapist also taught me that pretty much a lot of my female friendships where I was using the word best friend, the females had some narcissistic traits. And I did talk about it like very slightly in the female friendships podcast that we did, where I think I just said the word narcissism. But so my life with pretty much every peer around me having these narcissistic traits really did affect my personality. But the other half of that was I already had a personality that made me stick around when there are narcissists in my life. And I think both sides of that coin need to get into therapy. If you have narcissistic tendencies, you can work on them. And if you have tendencies like anxious attachment, people pleasing, codependency, and you end up partnering or befriending a lot of narcissists, please go to therapy. Please work on that. Because what ends up happening is that when the narcissistic people like find their person who forgives everything and loves them despite their behaviors, that codependent person or that anxious attachment person ends up pretty much like getting their soul sucked out of them. And I don't wish that upon anybody. So please work on that. And please know that like you being kind in those situations is actually not the right answer. And that is why I don't like how many people pleasers that I meet, because It is people who are so sweet and so wonderful and make the world a better place, but they even make the world a better place for people who are taking advantage of them. And it breaks my heart. So if you feel like you're one of those people who loves despite how badly you're treated, please seek out therapy or come talk to me. We can definitely work on that. But for me, and the reason why I think I connected so heavily with Bethany was because I was probably narcissist free for maybe about 7 years at that point. And so I was very excited about Bethany because she has 0 narcissistic traits, and I love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Surprising to me, but
Yes,
thank you.
0 narcissistic traits. Okay, but I do want to just do like a super quick how to use the word correctly. So when you say narcissistic traits, that is definitely versions of people who lack empathy, so they do not care about like your well-being for certain reasons.
Hold on. What is empathy?
What is empathy?
Like if they're disregarding your empathy.
If they're not an empathetic person,
yeah,
that means they can't see things from your point of view on an emotional level. So like big example is like you just had, I don't know, your dog pass away, and they can't understand what your feelings would be in that moment. That is just like basic.
So the words
empathy.
may came out of their mouth, but they actually can't emotionally connect with you in that moment.
Yes. And if they are being nice and kind, it's like because they know that is time to be nice and kind. It's not because they actually
that is what's socially acceptable.
Want to hold you in that moment. Yeah. And the thing with narcissists that's extremely frustrating for me is they are acting correctly and kindly most of the time. It's only with their select victims do they hurt and manipulate and blame, twist words around, and the lack of empathy really shows through because they're kind of doing the opposite to you.
It's almost kind of like a psychological serial killer who's a sociopath or a psychopath performing the way that they need to, that is learned.
Yep.
And socially acceptable, learned behavior of, okay, in this scenario you act like this.
Yes.
That's what I'm hearing.
No,
I'm hearing
totally.
very big similarities between sociopath and psychopath from a serial killer murder standpoint.
Yes, Bethany. Yep. And people say that the scariest people are psychopaths with social path tendencies and narcissistic tendencies. And apparently there's people with all 3, and
that's terrifying.
It's extremely scary. Yes. But having narcissistic traits is ridiculously common. Ridiculously common. So that's why it's important to don't call people a narcissist just because they're mean. It's also the lack of empathy piece that's important. And then the other part that's like kind of simple to describe is they hurt you so they feel better about themselves.
Can you do a hypothetical?
No, I'll do hypothetical. Okay, so Bethany, you won some kind of award for being an amazing softball player. The person walks up to you and they're like, wow, congrats, Bethany. I'm really surprised, but good job. But then they, by doing that to you and fucking ruining your moment, they feel good. They feel confident by putting you down.
Question.
Yeah.
So you know how people with graduate level degrees are highly made fun of because we find a reason, quote unquote, air quotes, to bring our graduate degree up in every conversation. Is that kind of what that is, of how like people are going, we fucking know you have a grad degree, but it's also like you obviously are feeling in need to bring that. Now, granted, I don't know the people that just talk about it, but when I bring up my education,
Yeah.
I'm feeling intellectually attacked, and like I need to bring up like, hello.
Okay, that is super different than narcissism.
Okay.
Narcissism, it would be like, look at my degree. I'm better than you because I have this degree and you don't. I'm better. I'm stronger. I'm smarter. But they do it subtly because they know not to misbehave, because it's all about getting your ego stroked. So if you are outwardly mean, you're not going to get your ego stroked. You won't even have people around you to get your ego stroked.
So you're more passive aggressive.
It's going to look like passive aggressiveness, but that's why they choose victim is the only word I can think of. They choose their victim, they get to know that person, and then they use things against them. They use what hurts them. So like an example for you, Bethany, if you are like proud of your degree, a narcissist would be like, that degree was super easy to get. You should have done something better. Like that. But it's not, but like if other people heard that, they wouldn't know the extent that broke your heart. They would just be like, oh, well, that wasn't nice. But like on your end, you're fucking crumbling because they attack you where it hurts. But most of the time, narcissists are super nice, super friendly, but it's a show. It's not how like me and you are nice. Like we are nice because we know that, because we value being nice. When narcissists are nice, it's because they want people to be nice to them.
So it's transactional.
Everything is transactional. That is a great way to put it. Yes. But then
what can I get from you?
Yes. What can I get from you?
If I behave this way.
Exactly. And they will like show off because they don't want just equality. They want to look great. And that's how so many people end up in relationships with narcissists, because they show who they are months later. In the first few months, they treat you like freaking kings and queens and shit.
In the honeymoon phase.
They milk it and they make you fall in love with them.
But that's also when they're love bombing and they're doing all these things that are not
it's
a
all
normal
fake.
Relationship.
It's all fake, but you don't know that it's fake. You think like, wow, someone actually like is showing me all these things I've seen in the movies. And then 2 years in, you're a broken shell wondering where your life went. Because they like soul sucking. But again, it's only the victim. And what they do too is they're so nice out in public to the point that if the victim spoke out and told the truth, no one would believe the victim.
She'd be gaslit. Or the victim would be gaslit.
Yes, victims gaslit. Narcissist constantly is gaslighting the victim. So that person falls apart. And that's why I make my people pleaser clients fight so hard to get out of that, because I know that narcissists will want people pleasers.
Well, we're the perfect target. We're the ideal target. We're picked for we're picked for the liking.
100%.
Because we're exactly what they would want, because we're higher likely to self-punish and internalize.
Yeah.
And think it's us, and then read all the books and do all the things and think it's us, which then continues to feed them. Like, exactly. Yeah, you are the problem.
Exactly. Yes. They get off on you breaking down, which is disgusting. But that's also why it's important to know that like it's not just about being mean. It is blowing out all your fire so they can take it for themselves. And it's awful. And the people who were trapped in those relationships, like, I'm so sorry. But if you can let them spew their manipulation tactics and just sit there and be like, okay, and not get emotional, that is the trick, because they get off on hurting you. So don't look hurt. That is like my advice if you're currently in a narcissistic
You
relationship.
have to wear a poker face.
Yes.
Don't ever let them see your actual vulnerability,
Yes. Exactly.
because that's what they're hunting for.
Yes.
Is they're hunting for a break in the chain.
Yes. They like to see you fall. They like to see you hurt. They like to see your self-esteem diminish. That's how they feel powerful, which is, again, so weird because that's not who they are in public. It's with very specific people attacking them in very specific, painful ways.
Wouldn't you say that also would be because the person behind closed doors is the person that is closest, air quotes,
Mm-hmm.
to them, so knows
Mhm.
more of their intricacies, more of their embarrassing nuances, and has the higher likelihood to a complete stranger in public
Mm-hmm.
to think that, like, oh my gosh, he, leaves his hair all over the sink when he shaves. And, that's maybe some fun comment, but then he's like, how dare you embarrass me in front of so and so?
1,000,000%.
Like that type of behavior of
Yeah, because okay, so like the thing with narcissists too that is really important that people tend to forget is they're extremely insecure people. That's why they go around attacking to feel better, because they're just so insecure. So if you say anything bad about them, they are so pissed. Even if it's a tiny thing like about like shaved off hair, so pissed because you tapped on something negative.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, everybody leaves. If you're a male and you shave your face over the sink,
Yeah.
that has to happen.
Yeah.
Period. Just like when we accidentally forget to take our hair out of the bathtub.
Yeah.
Or the shower or whatever. Like,
exactly.
It's just the thing about living with, if you have boy parts or girl parts, we all own body hair.
Yes, totally. But anything bad about them,
Yeah,
off
anything
limits.
like putting a negative potential
Yes.
sheen on anything,
Nothing.
they're like, you're in trouble now.
Yeah. And then Bethany, if you shave your legs and then it didn't end up in the tub or whatever, he would then get mad at you over something else because you just proved that you're like better than him. And it's like, it's constant. And it's always about them getting their needs met. No, like you're not getting your needs met pretty much constantly. And it is a vicious, vicious cycle.
How long does it take to typically notice?
Years. So if you know what to look for, you can find out as soon as you're outside of the honeymoon phase. And you can kind of tell with like what they might say about other people, or you might notice some insecurity with them and like you hear maybe a conversation with them and a relative. But if you're in a relationship, like you're going to get the love bombing and the you're my world and I love you so much stuff for a while, because they don't change until you're trapped.
So, and this is very common in the dating world, is we never fight. We never have fights.
Mm-hmm.
Is that also a red flag?
It is if everyone's hiding their feelings. If you don't fight because you preemptively have very difficult conversations and hash things out.
Well, that's different.
Yes. But if people are hiding their feelings, that's bad. But you can tell, like, there are signs. Sometimes there's a very empathetic moment, early on in a relationship, and you can see how that person reacts to that. Or there's like jealousy issues. But it's not jealous like, oh, like you were super close to cheating on me. It was jealous like, why did that guy check you out? Like just what?
Things outside of your control.
It's
type of jealousy.
Yes.
Or like you were existing as a human.
Yes.
And other humans did human things. And you're like, what? Huh?
And it brought out their insecurity, so now they have to go attack. But for me, like learning that I had female friends that were such big parts of my life also doing that to me was really, it was definitely eye-opening of like why I had such low self-esteem for as long as I did. And it was also eye-opening for me to be like, wow, I really don't ever choose myself. I really don't. And I had to grow so much. And that probably, like learning about my female friends having narcissism, that was only 3 years ago now. And I've made, prior to that, I was making like other friends who did not have narcissism. But while I was young, it was kind of like everyone was back to back. And so I wasn't able to develop, I guess, in healthy ways. It was like, because if you're a people pleaser and you're around narcissists, you can't, like, there's no opportunity for growth. So, like, I was very, like, stuck in a rut. And it was really hard to, because when you let go of a narcissistic relationship, whether it's a friendship or a romantic relationship, you're probably going to lose groups of people, because the groups of people believe the narcissist, they don't believe you. And that was something I had to go through, and that was really painful. One ex who was a narcissist like turned people against me. I'm not going to get into it right now in this very specific moment, but like you need, if you're going to leave a narcissist, that entire group associated with them, you are going to lose too. And it's hard. And they're going to, again, believe the narcissist, because the narcissist was planting pain seeds for you and love seeds for them that entire time. And yeah, and they lie and manipulate. So, and Bethany knows, but like the reason why I get riled up, even though I have moved forward from all the narcissists, and it's been many years now that I have moved forward, it's because situations that I was very excited about were purposefully ruined by these narcissistic people. And they were huge life events that literally only happen to people once. As upset as I am and as hurt as I throw all my knowledge at my clients, starting as soon as I can. And it's extremely motivating for me. A lot of my clients have been with narcissists, and we're like unpacking, like, okay, that person is a narcissist. Can we end this relationship? Like, what is it gonna take for you to feel comfortable leaving? What do you need to work on? Or do you want to stay and just like work on like not being emotional at all? Usually people want to leave. Usually people don't realize how broken they are, how they don't have self-worth at all anymore. But even though I had way too much experience with narcissists, I am also really good at spotting them even before my clients do. They can just kind of give me some situations, and then like I'll ask further questions and we'll kind of just like monitor together. The ones that come out of the relationship are completely different people in all the best ways. And all the self-esteem issues go away. It's super cool to see. And I'm like, see, it wasn't you. You're amazing. You're amazing. It was never you. And the ones that are like going through breakups, and like are just learning that exes were narcissists, I can honestly tell them everything's going to be better once you know how to choose you. And I can actually make that promise to them. And that feels really good. And it makes all the stuff I went through worth it. I'm mad, okay? Like I'm not ever going to say that I liked what happened to me, but I can say that it really taught me why it's bad to be a people pleaser, the situations you can get yourself into by attracting narcissists, and how good it feels to be done with narcissists, and how like life is hard enough. We do not need manipulation and lies and cruelty in our lives. And I use that knowledge to help people now.
That's huge just for you to say.
Thank you.
You've come a long way just since I met you. Just being able to like verbalize all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because previously in the past, that's not, I don't think you could have confidently said that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's this set of clients who've stuck around where like we didn't connect on the people pleasing initially. Like that is absolutely not why they came in. They didn't know that that was a problem. They came in for anxiety because guess what? If you are working your life around everybody else and not thinking of your needs, you will get anxiety. And after like it's been quite a few months, at least to a few years with the same people in this group that I'm referencing with the narcissists in their lives. And so I think it had to get to the point of where I'm like, okay, we need to work on your codependency. We need to work on your anxious attachment. We need to work on your people pleasing. We need to work on your self-worth. And like, in the unpacking of like, well, who's teaching you all these things about how horrible you are and how you're not good enough? Oh, your narcissistic partner, your narcissistic parent. Okay. Like, but it takes time because people don't know how to recognize narcissism. Even if they do, they're probably so used to it that they don't know how it's affected them over months and years.
I call it death by 1,000 cuts. Because it's just little pieces at a time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, and since we were talking about shaving, it's just like plucking hairs out. Like you're just like plucking parts of you out.
Yeah.
One piece at a time. So yeah, no, it's not a catastrophic fall or a catastrophic wound. It's not like you get your arm chopped off. And so it's not Stockholm syndrome because you can't see it because it's so psychologically skillful that you're not seeing the pieces of you that they're taking and that you're relinquishing to them as it's happening. Because you feel like, well, I'm just being the good partner. I'm just trying to be the good kid.
Yes.
Like in my case, I'm trying to be the good daughter.
Yes.
Or the good girlfriend or the good wife or the good whatever.
Yep.
Not that I'm relinquishing power over myself.
Yes. Very well said. Very
Lots
well
of
said.
therapy.
Yes. Good job, Bethany. Yes. And that is why I move so quick with my clients once I find out the situation that they're in. And I'm like, we need to get you to change your patterns too. Because when someone is, again, a people pleaser, they feel like they're doing things from love, out of kindness, because the world would be a better place if we all did that. But it is now at your detriment that you are forgiving someone who is tearing you apart. And it will tear you to shreds till you're not even human anymore. Yeah. So
that's why I feel like so many times when you hear, the kids are out of the house, I don't know what to do with myself, I'm lost. Or I like to quote Runaway Bride because she has no idea what kind of eggs she likes. She just does whatever they do.
Yes.
And so at one part in the movie, plus it's just Richard Gere and Julie Roberts, so how could you not? But in one part of the movie, there's a scene
Mm-hmm.
where she has every different type of egg in front of her, and she's like, "What do I like?"
Oh.
And so she sits there because that's why she's a runaway bride. She never actually gets to the altar. She
Okay.
like
Yeah.
goes out and then runs and then gets in a cab or jumps with the FedEx driver or whatever.
Got it.
Because she must get to a certain point where she's like, this doesn't feel right. But she keeps perpetuating the pattern.
Ah, okay.
So much so that they want to write an article about her. That's why like
Oh,
it comes in.
that sounds familiar. Yes.
Because they want to write an article about this woman who keeps getting proposed to over and over and over and over and over again by different guys, and then ditching on their wedding day. Literally running on the wedding day.
Okay, yeah.
So there is a scene
Uh-huh.
because this reporter now is following her around, and she'll like meet with different people or whatever, and then he goes and asks all of her exes, how'd she like her eggs? Oh, like me, over easy. Oh, like me, scrambled. Oh, like me, I don't know, eggs Benedict.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, like me, sunny side up.
Oh my gosh.
So like, yes, I'm sure that's not the point of that movie, but I feel like that's the best
Wow.
cinematic portrayal
Yeah.
of how easy it is to give up who you are.
Yeah. That's a very good example. Yes. And the person, and like with narcissism, it would be the person never asks her or cares how she likes her eggs. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I have to rewatch it. It's older.
Yeah.
I think he's just like, oh, you like your eggs like this, right? And then she just goes, yeah. So it's not like, what would you like for breakfast? How do you like your eggs?
Yeah.
It's more along the lines of like, you like scrambled eggs, right?
Yeah.
Cool. We'll have 2 orders of scrambled eggs.
Yeah. Okay. Totally.
I just think it's a really good, and I know I'm a movie buff, and so I can always tie it to a movie, but I just feel like it's a really good representation of like when you wake up and you're like, what do I like?
Because the abuse, if we are talking about narcissists, the abuse is like, I don't care about you and your needs. Everything needs to be about me, including you.
But it's also like your external appearance, right? Because if you're with a narcissist, oh, you look really great when you wear that dress.
Yes.
I really like how this looks. Like, you think they're compliments.
Yeah. So like my concern is like, this is the fine line of like, is that an asshole or is that a narcissist? Because I would say like a lot of people are very opinionated with their partners. The part that makes someone a narcissist is they don't care what you want.
Right.
Yes.
That's the context. I'm sorry.
Yes. Okay.
Because I'm so fluent in this, like you are, that's where I'm coming from.
Okay.
I hate this fucking dress. But then they are always like, oh my gosh, you look so amazing in that dress. It's so beautiful. It complements X, Y, and Z, and it looks really great when I wear X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Not like, I love this dress, don't you? Not really, no. You know?
Yes. It's about you looking good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not you looking good for you.
Or like if I personally choose something that I like, it's like, wow, that's a lot of cleavage. You sure you should be wearing something like that?
Yep.
Is that actually appropriate?
Exactly.
We're going shopping. We're going out in public. Do you think that's appropriate? What if we see children? It's like, my nipples aren't hanging out. It's like, I'm not in a bikini. What?
Right. Oh my gosh, right.
Like, I thought it was a really cute top and really flattering.
Yeah.
And then that's the kind of response which then sucks your soul out, and you're like, all right, I love this top, but now I never get to wear it ever again. There's one little piece gone.
Totally. Yeah. Exactly. It's really heartbreaking. And I've never, like, as a person just moving through the world, I didn't know how many people had narcissistic tendencies. Then I became a therapist. And pretty much everyone has had a narcissistic experience. So there's been a narcissist in their lives. Maybe not for long, but enough to be like, I can now define that personality versus people who are just jerks. And so we all just need to be very careful and very mindful and just try to remember that if you do have a narcissist in your life, you cannot take what they say personally, because they are trying to just hurt you and get at you, and they will use the things you love to hurt you and get at you. And again, like super specific, the things you love.
Well, and that's why I, to this day, owe you, because I had no idea.
Exactly. Yes.
I had no idea. I thought I was the problem my whole life. You know, I'm always to something, whether it's professionally, whether it's personally, whether it's romantically. There was always feedback.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. I thought, and I even didn't even know I had anxiety, actually, with all my inner monologues and all my inner thinkings.
Yeah.
Because of all the things that I've been told.
Yeah.
Until talking and having these conversations with you.
I know. Yes. I remember that clicking, because I remember being like, oh, narcissism. Right? So it's like, but that's a thing. It's like when you are just a human, you are not a human that studies narcissism, people just seem like assholes. But there's a difference between people who are, you know, mean and rude and people who get off on hurting your feelings. Right? But when you accidentally are around the people who get off on hurting your feelings, you will feel like it's you, because it's never them. They're perfect. They're wonderful. And it is like being gaslit, like the highest definition of that word, but all day.
Every day.
All day, every day. There's no other options.
There is no such thing as no gaslighting. Like every interaction had is a gaslit interaction.
And if things are compliments, they're roundabout complimenting themselves. Like, oh, you're so beautiful. But it's like, look who I got. Look who I manipulated into falling in love with me. Ha ha. It's not about you. And when things are about you, they will ruin it. Like actually. Oh, yeah. So awful. So please, like, just that's also why I don't want people to use the word narcissist casually,
as lightly as it is being thrown around.
Because when people actually are narcissists, it really ruins lives. It really does. That's all it does. It is soul-sucking behavior. So, but it's good to know the tendencies. Like, on the other hand, it's good to know the tendencies. So if you can quickly differentiate, is this person mean and can it be worked on, or is this actually like personality stuff that might not ever go away? Right, Dakota?
Dakota is standing on top of Auria while Auria is talking, being like, huh? And then she turns around and looks at me. Like, all right, Mom, what do you think? What are your thoughts on this topic? You can never record a night without Dakota, but Auria wants cuddles from Dakota, so this is how it goes. So my thought is, Auria, you're accepting new clients.
Yes.
This is something you're extremely passionate about. Would you say that you love making this a reality in women's lives? Like, ideally? Like, this is where your most passionate clients are?
Like women who match with narcissists?
Yeah, so like women who are in some type of either narcissistic partnership, came from a narcissistic family upbringing, and they're kind of like coming to see you for the first time because they listen to this episode and they're like, huh, there's some puzzle pieces clicking right now, because I know I know with narcissism, if you don't know until you know.
Yep.
As someone who has lived the other side of it my whole life, for people who don't,
Mm-hmm.
and then they end up with that friend, that partner,
Yeah.
or that person, that
Mhm.
coworker, that boss, whomever it may be.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about the bosses.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Okay. Yeah.
But let's say they resonate
Mm-hmm.
with something that you said.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like them to reach out and see and talk to you and kind of pick your brain and see if they'd be a good fit?
Yeah, we can do that. If someone is having things click and they now want to go to therapy and start the process of making some changes, um, I would love to meet them and have that conversation and unpack a little bit. Is something really important that I learned with my new therapist. She is phenomenal. With learning about the female friendships and those people also being narcissistic, was as someone who matches with narcissists, you are manipulating too. But your manipulation isn't to hurt people. Your manipulation is to self sacrifice and pretend like things are okay when they're not. So, helping people with that part of their personality, whether they've been with narcissists or whether they just like are, I don't know, making decisions that end up hurting them, those I feel like are my clients. And that is why things like hearing about how much people care about being likable bothers me. Because I want people to love themselves. And we don't have enough of that.
No. Oh no.
You know?
Oh no.
Yeah. So,
I still don't. It's a nonstop
right.
working progress
It is a work in progress.
all the time.
And I think that is just an overarching female issue.
Because data says
Mm-hmm.
we have to change who we are
Mm-hmm.
inside of our inherent like belief system.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be yourself because of X.
Exactly. Yeah, and like we've talked about in every podcast, it's like the I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I'm not deserving, all that stuff. Who taught you that? Because like we said, that was taught.
Any type of thought like that was taught.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you came out as an infant, all that you ever formed thoughts about
Mm-hmm.
were I'm dirty, I'm hungry, bleh, my stomach hurts, I'm dirty. This is fun.
Yeah, totally.
Like this was not, and I'm having to learn that myself.
Mm-hmm.
And these are things that can be learned as an infant.
Yeah.
These are not behaviors that you have to be like forming.
Mm-hmm.
They can be learned as an infant from babysitters, caretakers, daycare workers. Like, we're not talking something that's outlandish. So, for every person that's like, I'm fine, if you have that thought of, I don't like X
Mm-hmm.
about me, would you say that's something that's learned?
Kinda, yeah. It depends what it is and what it means. Um, so like everyone is different, and it's okay to talk about your differences. What is bad is if you feel like you are less than other people because of your differences or because of like what you were taught your differences are. That is now like now we went into the self-esteem, self-confidence realm. We need to work on it. But if you're like me, if like me earlier, where I was saying like I don't care about sportsmanship and I don't care about like being the best, that's fine. But if it's like I'm never good enough in anything I ever try, so I'm just not even going to try anymore, we're in the self esteem realm. We're outside of reality now. And I think that it breaks my heart. It absolutely breaks my heart, because all humans are unique and beautiful and wonderful, and everyone has different talents, and that's what makes this place cool. If everyone was the same, we'd all be bored out of our minds.
Well, everybody has a gift.
Everybody has a gift and everybody has a flaw. But like when it starts to be like, please go to therapy, is when you can't name your gifts and your flaws are being highlighted. Whether that's you doing that, whether that's someone else doing that, you deserve to work on it, and you deserve to just see yourself as a whole person. Good, bad, everything is still beautiful because it's you, you know?
Because if we go back to our body image episode, it's all about being a whole person. But a lot of our episodes too are about belonging, being a whole person, having just valuing you.
Yeah.
And if any of this clicks, I feel like this is what we all think. Like in our cohort of humans, this is how we all think. Why don't we just talk about it?
Yeah.
You know,
we should talk about it.
We're putting it out there. Like,
yeah,
come talk to us about it. If you're even like, ew, like you're quietly listening and you're quietly like cheering in the back of your head silently. Emojis are great. Putting just a heart or a thumbs up just tells us you heard it, you feel it, but you're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
And ready to talk to us.
Yeah. And that's okay.
That's totally fine.
And I had a similar situation with like therapist 1 taught me about not being with shitty partners. Therapist 2 was like, you were just all around all the narcissists and all the time. So like I wasn't ready before, and I think my therapist knew that. But she still pulled me out of where I needed to be pulled out of.
And that's why being a fit with your therapist is so crucial. Because you, as the provider, need to know where your client is, because a certain client, they're not ready to hear this.
Yes, for sure.
Like, you got to go at it very differently depending on the person and what they come into you with.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. And everyone is different and everyone's life is different. But I think if someone is currently listening and feeling like, oh, shoot, I feel like I'm a broken person because the people I've surrounded myself with have broken me, let's talk. Even if you don't need a session, even if you just want to talk to me about your situation and how you're feeling and just want to be pointed in the right direction, we can do that. We can hop on a phone call.
And how do we talk to Auria?
Go to our website,
which is
headtotoestrength.com, and the 2 is the number 2.
There we go.
Yes.
Do you have any final words of wisdom from your brain to provide all of our wonderful and amazing listeners?
Yes. As I've probably said numerous times now, please find what you value. Please do not worry about what other people value or what other people think of you. This is your life. This is your one life. You need to do what makes you happy. And you need to care less about other people, honestly. Okay, we'll figure it out with work. All right, I'm not going to screw people over at work. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, don't come after my money, homie.
Yeah, we're not going to mess with work, but outside of work, it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to think of you, and it's okay to think of your values and just move through life with what matters to you.
Thanks, Auria. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on Uplift Women's Wellness.
We're so grateful to have you as part of our community. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs it.
Follow us on social media for updates and extra inspiration between episodes.
And remember, you're stronger, braver, and more capable than you know. Until next time,
Stay strong, stay empowered, and keep uplifting each other.